Hi, it's Norman Kochnek. Today we're going to talk about the Melbourne Cricket Ground, or the MCG, very often called the G. From its humble beginnings of 1853, the ground has certainly come a long way to the current 2020 year. In fact, it's had everything from cricket from the very first test of 1877 right through to the Summer Olympic Games of 1956 in Australia, as well as the Commonwealth Games of 2006, and then of course 2 World Cups in 1992 where Pakistan won, and also 2015 where Australia won. Those two monumental moments for World Cup cricket happened at the MCG. The ground is also the second biggest ground in the world, behind the newly built Gujarat Stadium. It's the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere. Has had crowds well over 100,000 up to 120,000 in its time. But I'm here to talk to you about the relationship to the external part of the stadium, where we have some 16 bronze statues that have been put together, have been unveiled over a number of years from 2003. And that is particularly significant in relation to cricket, to Australian rules or AFL, and also to the Olympics. In fact, there are 16 statues, some 8 that relate to Australian rules or AFL, some 2 that relate to the Olympics of 1956, and a further 6 that relate to cricket, and cricketers in particular, with some 4 of the 6 actually from Victoria, and the further 2 basically Australian legends on a number of grounds. Let's go back to the first of those. Of course, the first was Sir Donald Bradman in May 2003, and that is positioned outside of Gate 5. That led to, that of course needs no introduction. Sir Donald Bradman scored runs on all grounds within Australia, and especially the MCG, and has great fondness to the Melbourne crowd, and deserves that accolade at that particular location. Dennis Lillee, he was placed there in December of 2006, also in front of Gate 1, so he joins Dennis Lillee, of course, leading wicket taker for Australia at the time, a leading wicket taker in the world, a number of fifers. MCG was one of his favourite grounds to bowl on. The next 2 are a bit of old and a bit of new. We have Shane Warne that was put there in December of 2011 in front of Gate 2. Shane Warne, a Victorian, took his 700th test wicket on that ground. Took many wickets on the MCG, was given a number of 5 wicket totals, and of course was greatly respected by Victoria and Australia, and is well loved and deserves his position as a bronze statue out front of Gate 2. Then you have the likes, probably the most significant to me was not only Sir Don Bradman, but also Neil Harvey, a true Victorian, despite the fact that he lives in Sydney now in St Ives. He is in fact a legend of the game, not only as a player, as a selector, as an administrator, great mentor to many young people. And Neil Harvey, 92 years of age, is still alive, and his statue was placed in December of 2014, January of 2014, in front of the Jolimont station, the train station there in the northern end of the ground. Great feeling to walk around the ground such as this, to walk past and see the statues in front of you and be able to remember the history of the MCG and of cricket.